I have a very good feeling about this one, guys. I really do. Miyazaki actually created his ultimate challenge, his ultimate boss, and it's by getting two friends to play with. I'll be surprised if you still have friends after completing Elden Ring and the DLC. So I think that will be players' biggest challenge for this game. But furthermore, really think this is going to be a hit of a game. This game is addictive. It's intense, it's way faster paced than I expected, and I think it's going to be a hit. So let's talk about it. Our characters have just left the round table hold and day one is about to begin. Your goal in the rain is to survive, and that's basically it. You need to survive. Each day as the rain of rain closes in around you, and your team then, at the start of the day, 3 days, you'll fight one of 8 major bosses, using all the randomized loot and buffs that you accumulate over the course of your run. Now, every session you play in the Nightreign is supposed to be somewhat unpredictable, I can say. You won't always explore the same map or receive the same loot or face the same enemies. The one thing though that I found very predictable in every single one of the Nightreign sessions was this feeling of pressure. Extreme pressure, guys. You need to be fast. You need to be quick. The pressure not just to survive, but the pressure to get stronger. Because if you don't get powerful fast, there's no way you will defeat the final boss. There isn't, guys. Trust me on this. You can kind of see that pressure in action here. These characters just rested at the grace and leveled up and ran because the rain is coming and you don't have much time. Trust you really don't have much time. It is so often it was a choice between defeating a boss and claiming its loots or running away and living to fight another day. So many subtle changes have been made to the mechanics of the Golden Ring as well, and all of these changes have been made in the name of speed and efficiency. For example, you can now vault easily over objects and even enemies as well to get where you need to go. Gone are the days where you need to torrent. This is potentially my favorite thing about Night Rain so far is the base movement speed is already far faster than Elden Ring. But when you press into sprint, it feels as though you're moving as fast as Torrent, perhaps even faster. To be honest, there are spirit springs all over the map that can be used without Torrent, and these allow you to scale large vertical heights very quickly. You can even use them to land on nearby keeps that are otherwise inaccessible. Additionally, you can now wall climb by jumping into the surface. However, it isn't unlimited. You cannot just jump up the face of a flat cliff face. There need to be a ledges or like groves you can jump off. But it is very satisfying feature and it feels great with the overall faster pace of the game and movement. There are some interactions with the parkour that I didn't know about until I watched the B-roll, where you can see this Walder jumping up the fire chariot in order to perform its special plunge attack, to further facilitate the fast-paced feel of movement. It is the fact that there is no fall damage, and I do think this is a smart decision, giving you need to make some quick decisions when the fire is moving in or closing in. And finally, you can find trees around certain points in the air, like on the map, that allow you to remount the Spirit Hawks, which actually have great control in terms of decent descent and dropping off when you want. Sometimes the pressure will get to you, trust me, and you and your team will go down. Unlike Elden Ring, you aren't insta-killed. Rather, you go into a down state with a chance for survival, like revival. When you're down, a timer starts and you aren't revived in the time frame, you will die. It's almost like, guys, I don't know if I can say this, but when I played it, it's just a portion of the game that I played. I kind of felt like, this was like a Elden Ring battle royale almost in a kind of way. It is actually, but there's just certain elements in the game that really reminded me of a battle royale game, and I think it's brilliant. I think it's really brilliant. But I'm a sucker for teamwork, so I really like games where you can, work as a team and trying to work together to get through, like to get through the phase almost in a way. The game itself is beautiful. The visuals are beautiful. The colors, everything. There's like this blue color grading scheme that's over it, so you can actually easily see the part of what's Elden Ring and what is Nightreign. It really is a beautiful game. But if you respawn now after you died, but lose a level to help your teammate up, you need to hit them either with a melee weapon or range. How many times you need to hit is determined by a tree quadrant. Circle that will appear about their heads. Keep hitting it until this is depleted to revive them in a boss fight. There is no timer, it's more a question of can you actually do it when you are under pressure from my boss or from enemies. I think it's a great gameplay mechanic that jives well with the Souls like gameplay and unique features of Night Rain. You could use the Duchess ability to go invisible. That one I also like. In order to make a safe revive, or you could do it from a distance with a bow or arrow, teamwork is so powerful in Night Rain, and I like the way they have implemented revive. So I have spoken about the general structure of the game, but let's talk about what you will be spending your time doing during the exploration phases and how you upgrade yourself and prepare for the Nightlord leveling up. Remains the most basic and straightforward way of increasing your power, with each run starting at a level 1 and base stats. I also cannot overstate how powerful that first level up is, guys. Oh, it's powerful. As you start with a very low hit points and you really notice that first boss boost to your health bar. Leveling up isn't done like it is in Elden Ring, with you allocating specific stats. Rather, you just generally level up all of your stats per level with different weightings depending on which of the player classes you are. For example, the Guardian will always have more HP than the Squashy Reclus, even as the same level, the highest level. My team made it to as was, I think it was level 13, I think. I believe that 15 could be the max, and my reason for believing so is that there is a sparing area at the round table hold where you can test weapons. Here you can equip yourself with many weapons that you can find in the field, and you can level yourself up, the max level being 15 in these options. Additionally, to leveling up is the ability to get bonus stats and new weapons, and the best way to do this is by defeating many bosses, which can be found all over the map. Depraved, Perfuming, Golden, Guardian, Golem, Fire, Monk, and Miranda. Flower being an example of the many bosses found across the map. When they fall, you get a traditional drop rather than an interactional object appears, and it offers you two or three randomized options for you to choose as your reward. These rewards can be powerful weapons or they can be contributed upgrades. And we found the farming these rewards was one of the main ways we can got like we actually got powerful. For the final boss, some of these attribute upgrades can be fairly straightforward, like 10% more health, or they can be more like utility based. The classes were one of the elements that had me the most excited because the classes feel so distinct from one another and impactful. In our first run against the Night Lord, we kind of doubled up and played the easier classes, and we found it to be a struggle, although it was our first time. However, subsequent playthroughs, I found that when you have a more balanced party and we used our powers in concert, we felt more powerful. If everyone plays their role as their class, it's I wouldn't say it's more easier, but you guys just feel more powerful. With that said, let us go through the four classes we had access to, and each of their powers and playstyles. Each character had a passive, a character ability, and an ultimate, and alongside their attribute spreads. And starting equipment, these are what define each character. First of all, they are the welder, who is the most poster boy with the winged helmet. Welder is the most balanced character. A clone's range melee, a character with easy to use yet powerful abilities, good HP, good armor, and a good starting weapon means he is easy to pick up and use for any player Welder's passive. Also, helps keep you alive by providing a free save from a hit, which is very nice in my opinion. When you're learning the new movement patterns of the bosses and enemies, his character ability was a hook and pull that would bring the enemies towards you or you to them if they are large, which is of course very useful if you need to deal with a ranged or a squashy enemy. His ultimate ability is where it is at, however, it is the melee range charge, blast attack with his first weapon. That does massive stagger damage to the opponent. And most cases, I used it to be enough to stagger the boss I was facing. And open them up to a critical attack. This can be used in a combination really well with the Duchess power. If you let them know you are about to deal some critical damage, overall, a really comfy class to play that will always be welcome in any party to bring some close range aggro and damage to the equation. The next class was my personal favorite, and that is the Guardian. The first time I've played a non-human character in a FromSoft game. This is the heaviest class, and I personally like being in the thick of the action, and so this was the class for me. It is passive, certainly leans into this, though it does make you somewhat static. However, he isn't just a tank. He has some great moves for combo setups and ways to get yourself out of the action. His character ability is Whirlwind, which deals damage and throws enemies up into the air. A setup attack which can be comboed by another player who could hit the airborne enemy. However, it is his ultimate ability that really made me fall in love with him. Like, I really like that. It's called Wings of Salvation. And in this, the Guardian takes flight before bombing down onto the target enemy, and there are a number of benefits to this move. My main reason for liking it is that it can save your life if you are close to death and under a lot of pressure. Then this move does relieve that by throwing you way above and out of range of your opponents. Additionally, it does decent damage and stagger. So you can team up with Wilder's ultimate to quickly open up a dangerous boss before unleashing the Duchess power to multiply this burst damage. The final effect is protective after you land the dive bomb if you continue to hold the power button. Then you will set up a defensive area effect that will increase your allies' damage resistance for as long as it is active. Aside from anything else, his ultimate just looks and feels amazing. You feel powerful. Just a cool, easy to use class and cannot recommend it enough. However, perhaps the most impactful class is one you have heard me and other people and other creators are saying mentioned a lot of times, many times now, and that is the Duchess. A great class that will be useful in any party. Duchess is a sort of rogue support class who is focused on boosting the party's power and avoiding damage. Her passive is simple, very simple actually, but useful. allowing her to dodge more frequently, feeling more like the hunter from Bloodborne. In that regard, however, it is her ultimate and character abilities that really make her a powerful class, and she is the only class where her character ability is actually more powerful than her ultimate. Can you guys believe that? At least in my opinion, it is called restage, and it is basically repeats the last like 10 seconds or so of damage that the target enemy took, and this is visually represented by a spirit of the boss appearing and mimicking the movements of the boss when it took that damage. So for example, if I staggered a boss and hit it with a critical attack and did like 1,000 damage, then the dodgers could use restage to repeat that damage, and you would see a spirit version of the boss taking that critical attack that dealt early on. Now again, I didn't test precise numbers, but it looked like this repeated about 15% of the damage that was dealt in the past few seconds. This was really powerful against some bosses. There was one time when we and my team when I when me and my team were facing the Nightlord, and I believe we did a burst of about 6,000 damage, and then our Duchess used a restage, and it is instantly added another 3,000. The other thing that is crazy is that the restage power is not the Duchess ultimate. It is a character ability, meaning it recharges within about 10 or 15 seconds. A welder or a guardian, as I can say, guys, I found this balance squad was really powerful, especially when it came to the boss fights. With that said, let us briefly talk about the boss we faced. Furthermore, I don't want to spoil anything for you guys. I truly think that this game is going to be a hit. I would even go so far, guys, to say this could be game of the year again. For Elden Ring, even Elden Ring's DLC was even in the list on the game of the year, and it's well deserved. It's really well deserved. Miyazaki actually cooked again in the kitchen. The kitchen smells good, and I cannot wait until you guys get this in your hands and try it out for yourself. The game is not out yet, but I'm really excited to continue playing this game. This game is addictive, like really addictive. And I really like to work with teammates. I really like gameplay styles like that, where you work as a team and to push together and achieve victory together. I really liked the moment when we celebrated together when we defeated the boss. It was really such a great feeling, and it's such a achievement. I really enjoyed it. And at the same time, guys, it felt like a new game. It felt like a fresh start of Elden Ring. And I don't even know how Bandai Namco, mm, how they even do it. Or even like Miyazaki as well. They really outdid themselves with this one. And it's really a treat. It's really a treat, man. And I truly believe this is how you expand a game. This is how you expand a really good game like Elden Ring, man. And I think like other game developers should look at From Software and see what they're doing, and what they're doing right, and they're doing it like in such a neat and clean way that I really appreciated from it. And I'm really glad to be part of this community. I'm really glad that I'm stumbled across back then on Bloodborne, my very first game, and I cannot wait to continue playing this game. If you enjoyed this video, please leave a like and a subscribe, and please leave a comment what you think Nightreign will be for you. Are you going to enjoy it? Is it your type of game? Are you skeptical about it? I really want to know what your guys' thoughts on it. I will really appreciate it. Until next time, I will see you in the next video.